Bill 2507, and recognize Senator Branning to present that to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's better. Senate Bill 2507. This bill was requested by the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians, and currently, under our law, businesses, non-tribal businesses that are located on tribal property are not eligible for MDA discretionary programs to be used for, under the definition, a project within the state of Mississippi. So the purpose of the bill is just to allow non-tribal businesses that are located on tribal lands but within Mississippi, the ability to participate in, there's 3 different programs listed in the bill. Section 1 refers to the ACE Fund, and you will see language inserted in line 38. Section 2 is the Mississippi Industry Incentive Financing Revolving Fund, lines 135 and 141. And then Section 3 talks about the Mississippi Existing Industry Productivity Loan Fund, which is line 308. And the language that we're inserting, as you can see, is just actually including federal Indian reservations within the geographical boundaries of Mississippi. It's just very simple, again, to allow non-tribal businesses on the tribal lands to participate in these 3 MDA programs. And that's the explanation, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions from the committee? Senator Younger.
I'm not responsible for that.
All right, motion's title sufficient do pass. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next, we're going to go to Senate Bill 2521, and I recognize Senator Parker to present it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill that earlier this week came through my committee. It has to do, as a little background, one thing we've been working on out of session is an ability to combine incentives in the state and come up with something that's more attractive to other businesses, because what I found is that our existing way of doing this is very complicated. It is sometimes burdensome and creates some situations like the one I'm going to describe here. So this bill just basically deals with one particular instance. So we have a company up in DeSoto County called Crone, and Senator Younger's familiar with this company through agriculture. They make farming, agriculture, I think some harvester equipment. And they relocated to Olive Branch with incentives, and they brought 90 new jobs. Those jobs have an average salary of $80,000, and this is a company based out of Germany. They missed a filing deadline for one of their for their incentive, and as a result of that, are unable to get any application rights for what the state promised them. And so this bill simply adjusts the language specifically for them to allow them to make that application. And so if you read here, I went through this with MDA in great detail to make sure that this would not open this to anyone beyond this one company. And I believe the lines are 257 through 264 in the bill, and they read solely with respect to any farm equipment manufacturer that locates its North American headquarters to Mississippi between those dates shall be eligible to do this. And again, MDA is sure that this will only apply to this one company, but again, I feel strongly that we made a commitment to this company to bring their North American headquarters to our state. I don't think we were very transparent on the application process, and another bill that I hope to have before this committee next week, we'll get to work on that through the INFLEX program. But that's an explanation of the bill. Be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions by the committee?
The motion would be title sufficient do pass.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. The next one we're going to bring up is Senate Bill 2833. This deals with the Motor Vehicle Commission. What it does is for automobile dealers in Mississippi they will be, currently they do warranty work on vehicles purchased within a factory warranty period. And that work is reimbursed by the manufacturer at a lower rate than the market value. This would just bring that reimbursement up to the market value. Currently, 46 other states do that. We are one of 4 that do not. And both the manufacturers and the automobile dealers have agreed on all the language in this bill. Does anybody have any questions? Motion's title sufficient to pass. Any question? Oh, I see a question.
Isn't this the government interfering in the market?
Thank you. Motion's title sufficient to pass. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Next one we're going to do is Senate Bill 2811, abandoned manufactured homes. Senator Fillingame, you're recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For most of you who were here last year, you'll recall the Senate passed a nearly identical bill dealing with how do you get rid of or sell abandoned mobile homes, either in a trailer park or mobile home park, or if they're just on your property as an individual landowner. So I can do like the 20-minute really in-depth breakdown of each and every procedure in this, or I can just tell you that it's identical to the bill last year with the modifications of 2 things. There's some language in here about the sheriff, when they do the sheriff's sale of the mobile home, once it gets to that point after the complaint is filed and the proper notices are run for 3 weeks and all that. And the Sheriff's Association, after they saw it last year and it didn't make it all the way through the process, they worked with the Mobile Home or Manufactured Home Association to put in there that they would be paid a reasonable fee for their activity of selling, just like they do for any other sale of property that they have to do. Also, the Tax Assessors Association wanted to make sure and clarify that any back taxes that were owed on the mobile home would also be a priority lien when the home is sold, to make sure that the county tax assessor's office got in line ahead of essentially anybody but the sheriff. So it goes to the sheriff and then the tax assessor and then any other, like the mobile home park owner or the landowner comes next. So the first section deals with all the definitions. Section 2, which starts on line 169, deals with complaint for the disposition of the abandoned manufactured or mobile home and goes into all the specifics of what has to be included in the complaint. And that runs all the way over to line 225, where section 3 starts, talking about filing of the complaint constitutes consent by the community owner, which is the mobile home park owner, or the landowner, which is the person that owns fee simple title on the property it sits on. Once they have filed the complaint, they obviously have to give access to whoever the ultimate purchaser of the mobile home would be at the sale to come onto their property to remove the mobile home and move it off or deconstruct it or whatever has to be done. Section 4 starts on 239, talks about entry of an order naming the commissioner and setting the date and time of the sale. The commissioner is defined in Section 1, but it's a person that lives in the county where the property is located and essentially acts as the person that carries out the order of the court to sell the property. Oath of the commissioner is defined in Section 5 at line 253, 262. It talks about the advertisement of the sale and what has to go. And you'll see on line 265, I think if I'm remembering right, Senator Thomas maybe last year wanted, it was at 2 weeks of notification, and he extended that to 3 weeks. So we've maintained that language in this year's version. So it's like it passed the Senate committee last year. Section 7 on line 280 deals with the actual procedure for how the sale is carried out. And you'll see again, as I mentioned earlier, on lines 286 and 287 about the bidder submitting a bid and at least a minimum amount that would pay the sheriff's fee, the tax collector for any past due taxes, the lien creditors in their order of priority, and all costs of the court and commission's fees. So again, just reasserting that the Sheriff's Association, the tax collectors language that they wanted in the bill is present there. Then on Section 8, line 317, talking about the payment of the debt and exercise of the possession once the purchaser is determined, and awarded in the order. 329, Section 9 deals with the disbursement of the bid amount, dispersing the funds to the various entities, sheriff, tax assessor, ultimately the property owner. Then Section 10, entry of that final order that the court is, the appropriate court would then enter, including up to the order of dismissal on line 358 and 359. Section 11, it starts at line 360, dealing with the submission to the Department of Revenue. Section 12, the good faith defense of owner of real property and claims of wrongful sale. Obviously, just saying if they did everything that the law lays out, and then, years later or months later, the actual owner of the manufactured house comes back and wants to sue them for wrongful sale of the manufactured home, as long as all the requirements that I've, detailed are met, then they cannot be prosecuted for that. So, see, I think Section 13 was original language, so there's some conforming language, and that's the bill. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee? Do we have a motion?
Not move adoption, title sufficient to pass.
Motion's title sufficient to pass. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. The next one we're going to do is Senate Bill 2437. This is a distinctive motor vehicle license for Wildlife Mississippi. What we'd like to do is put a reverse repealer in here and make it the vehicle for all distinctive tags. If there are any questions about the bill, I'll take them now. Otherwise, we'll make a motion to put. Well, Commissioner, thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. The next 5 bills we're going to take up all come from the Department of Revenue. We're going to ask them to come up and present them to us, starting with Senate Bill 2814. Thank you.
Thank you. The first bill on the agenda is 2814, and it's unemployment benefits. This bill is simply asking for the authority to allow state withholding on unemployment benefits. Current statute allows for the option to have a federal withholding, but it doesn't provide the option for state withholding, and that's just the change that we're requesting there. It is not mandatory. It just allows recipients of unemployment benefits to make the election to have state withholding from that.
Are there any questions from the committee? Do we have a motion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. The next one is Senate Bill 2815.
2815 is asking for the requirement for a decal on apportioned vehicles to be removed. Currently, there are 14 states that have gone to removal of decal on apportioned vehicles, and those are your heavy trucks that travel in interstate commerce. They're going strictly to electronic credentials there, and the department is asking for the authority to do that. It is a slight cost savings to us of about $14,000 per year.
Any questions? Senator McMahon?
Thank you. Deputy Commissioner, does this also affect the IFTA stickers?
No, this is the decals, the expiration decals.
Yeah, it's just the expiration. Does it also affect the IFTA stickers? The IFTA stickers?
But the IFTA stickers will be the same. This will not impact that. This is only the expiration decal on the tag.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion? Motion's title sufficient to pass. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Next one is Senate Bill 2816.
2816 is asking for the authority for the department to give the same benchmarks to our property tax appraisers as the county appraisers receive. As you probably know, the appraisers in the county and the Department of Revenue appraisers, they receive several certifications each year, and they attend the same classes, they get the same certifications. However, we are limited to providing them with the 5% benchmark, whereas the statute for a county employee allows them pay increases of up to $8,500. We're just asking for the authority to be able to pay our employees the same as they would receive if they were a county employee.
Any questions from the committee? Senator Fillingane?
Okay. We have 14 employees in these positions right now, and the current expected cost to the agency would be $60,000.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion? Motion's title sufficient to pass. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Next one is Senate Bill 2828.
This bill relates to our ABC enforcement officers. We have asked that the last sentence in the current section be repealed. That last sentence actually says that nothing shall be construed as granting agents of the ABC general police powers. We believe that's in direct conflict with the statement up above that says that the agents may make they have all police authorities when it comes to ABC issues, and so we're asking for that to be removed, just to remove any ambiguity or confusion in that.
Senator Horn?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to make sure that I understand, because when I saw this bill, I didn't think it was all that appropriate to give ABC officials the right for the full range of arrest powers of other sworn officers in the state. So what you're saying is that by removal of this language, they would have police powers when it comes to the carrying out of their duties as enforcement officers for ABC. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's actually in the statement above there, where it talks about, which is still in there, where in the performance of their duties as such employees.
Right. So in the performance of their duties as officers for alcohol and beverage control, they will have police powers, but not otherwise.
That's the intent of the legislation, yes, sir.
Of the legislation with the change that you
That's
just
the intent of the
mentioned.
proposed change, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator McDaniel?
Just a quick question. It speaks to general police powers, and you indicated the phrase before, it seems to be contradictory. Explain how the application of the scope of arrest and power will change if we pass this bill.
If I may, Senator McDaniel, I believe, let's just say that our officers make a traffic stop in an incident where they're trying to enforce the ABC laws. It would take away a defense attorney's ability to go into justice court and say everything about that stop was inappropriate because of the last sentence. So I don't think it changes. In my opinion, the first part of the statute's clear, that we do have those powers to do all of those things in performance of our duties, but some very crafty attorneys have gone into justice court and been able to convince judges that we don't have the ability to do these other things in the enforcement of our powers.
I understand. I guess, have you ever seen that play out? Has that argument been raised?
Yes, sir, we have in multiple instances. Yes, sir.
There was no way. I guess it's just perplexing, because I know the ABC officers have a set number of responsibilities and duties. Obviously, we don't want to frustrate those intentions. Just trying to understand the dynamics of the real-world application. If he makes the stop, it's a plain psychological stop, then that would not fall under his jurisdiction and his powers, especially if there was a violation of some ABC.
I think it does, and our folks think it does as well, but some very well-intentioned justice court judges have not agreed.
Senator Simmons?
In light of the response to Senator McDaniel and also Senator Horn, I guess my question is,
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yep. So, Commissioner.
Truly, this is a Republican mic.
Thank you, Senator McMahon. Commissioner or Deputy Commissioner, in light of your responses to Senator Horn and also Senator McDaniel, I guess I'm trying to understand, are you seeking the change in the statute in response to a case? Or do you take a position as an agency what the powers of your agents should be or should not be? I guess I'm trying to figure out exactly what we're doing here.
We're asking for the change in response to some incidents that have happened in cases. And I don't think this, my personal opinion is this does not change our powers. It just makes it real clear that these are our powers, and it takes out the language that's really not needed at the end of the statute.
So the language that is seeking to be deleted, when was that language added? Because at some point, this deliberate body decided that those powers should be with your agents.
You're talking about the last sentence?
Yeah, when was the last sentence added to give those powers to the officers or the agents with the agency?
I don't know exactly when the last sentence was added. I could try to find that out for you. It's been in the law for a while.
Okay. And so this problem that we are trying to address, it's just happened this year, or was it last year?
Within the last several years, yes, sir.
Last several years?
Yes, sir. I'm not sure exactly when it's more than one case, but it's been a couple of different cases that we've had over the years, and I would say within the last 2 to 3 years, but I don't know the exact time frame of the case.
Okay. Would you be willing to provide me, the chairman, or members of the committee, where those incidents took place, what counties, and the nature of the cases, so we can see, because the facts of those cases matter. I don't know if we want to. It may be a situation where we want the agents to have those powers. It may be a situation based off the facts that we don't want them to have those powers.
Right, and our position would be very clearly enforced throughout the state. We do have those powers. It's in a couple of exceptions where a judge has decided to latch on to some language in the end of the statute to dismiss a case. But I'd be happy to have our enforcement chief follow up with you directly and provide whatever information we can, assuming that the cases weren't somehow protected, which I doubt these were. I think these were in justice court, I believe. So they should be, we should be able to provide that information to you.
And you would agree with me that even without this language, based upon the powers and duties that start at line 22, that a justice court judge may very well interpret and rule in a way that is contrary to the way the agency expect them to rule, even without this language.
I think that the judges have to decide the cases on their own merit, and as I said earlier, I think the judges that we've encountered are very well intentioned as well. And so, yes, I do think each case has to be decided on its own merit within the parameters of the powers that the legislature grants to the ABC and all enforcement officers.
Thank you, Commissioner, for yielding. Thank you for all your work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Sparks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I understand correctly, the department in lines 10, 11, et cetera, give a declaration of being a police officer from the department. In other words, are ABC agents certified law enforcement officers?
Yes.
Okay, I think that might clear up a lot of it. If we acknowledge that that's the case, then they should have police powers as a certified law enforcement officer, so that might be a way to cure the issue as well.
They are certified law enforcement officers. Our ABC officers are also the only law enforcement officers in the state that do require a college bachelor's degree at a minimum. In order to be hired, they continue with their training. They are certified at least annually. Sometimes I think they're biannually there. But yes, they are certified law enforcement officers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Younger. Any other questions? Motion's House sufficient do pass. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Next one is Senate Bill 2829.
Senate Bill 2829 is asking for a
I
change.
apologize. This is a committee sub.
Oh,
You should have
sorry.
gotten a copy of it separate. It's the one that was not in the packet. Sorry.
I'm sorry. It is asking for a change in how we pay for our license tag. So this is our license tag acquisition fund. For the last several years, 2017 forward, we have been provided a general fund appropriation for license tags. We are asking for that to change back to a special fund, and so that all of the expenses for the license tag acquisition be paid out of collections, with the net amount being sent to the general fund. That's how it was prior to, up from 10 through 16, it was special fund there. As many of you probably know, we do purchase the plates that are, that the counties maintain in their inventory. We manage the cost for the plates, the decals, and all of the freight there. We're just asking for some flexibility there with the funding for that, and it's not an increase in cost or anything that we intend for that. I will tell you that fund pays no employee cost. That fund is limited to paying for the license tags, decals, and freight. We're just asking for it to be a special fund.
Any questions from the committee? Motion is title sufficient, do pass. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. The last bill we have for today is Senate Bill 2830. It deals with the new markets tax credit, and it simply extends it for another year. Does anyone have any questions? Is there a motion? Motion's title sufficient, do pass. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right. Thank you all very much. Do we have a motion to rise report? Thank you.